Putin is a former KGB agent from Russia. And so he's playing Trump. Trump doesn't have any cards in forcing Russia and Ukraine to stop this war. He may want the killing to stop, but Putin doesn't want the killing to stop. And this threat in regard to this banter between a former president of Russia and Donald Trump, it seems like Trump was personally offended by it. And it would be funny going back and forth if they weren't playing with nuclear bombs in this case. He could reposition those submarines without publicly announcing it. This is all banter back and forth. It'd be funny but it's dangerous because they're talking about nuclear weapons here. But Putin doesn't want peace. Putin wants Ukraine. And Donald Trump is the last one in the foreign relations family or circle to really get that. This isn't some real estate deal. This has history to it, and Putin isn't going to do it. And as Donald Trump told the president of Ukraine, you don't have the cards. Donald Trump, you don't have the cards. Putin has put you in a position now that in 10 days, if he doesn't end the war in Ukraine and doesn't stop bombing Ukraine, what's Donald Trump going to do? Is he going to bomb Russia? No. He's going to do economic sanctions, and that's not going to solve the war either. So I think Trump's in a really difficult position and has put America in a very difficult position. There is no empirical data to support that Hamas is stealing the food or selling it elsewhere. It's just not there. Now, Scotty Nell Hughes and I can agree on one thing, and that is that the starvation and malnutrition has got to stop with these young people. The victims of war are always the masses, if you will. And so what can the U.S. do? The U.S. needs to put extreme pressure, as they've done recently, on Israel. I don't have to see starvation in front of me to know that if I'm Israel and I'm blocking aid and medical supplies to a region that I have bombed out, that there are no more buildings left in Gaza, there are people living in Gaza, and that there's a humanitarian piece of this thing, I don't have to see it. I can project it if I do that. And when I do get aid in, people are being shot. This is empirical data to know that you're going to have a humanitarian crisis. So,
when Hamas isn't playing by the rules of war, which are ugly in any situation, but they're using, civilians as human shields and hiding under schools and hospitals, it doesn't make it easy, which is part of why we are where we are this morning.
I agree with you that Hamas has dirty hands in this as well. There's no doubt about it. As Scotty said, take the war out of it. I'm just focusing on the humanitarian piece, and you got to figure it out. You can't have the masses starving and babies and the pictures coming out of that. If you are a humanitarian, and we all are, you can't look at that and say, throw your hands up and say, there's nothing we can do. The U.S. has got to lead on this or be better at leading on this and making Israel and Hamas both to allow it to happen so people can.
Yeah, we can't sweep it under the rug. We can't sweep it under the rug, and it seems like the administration is really taking action here.
We are the most powerful country in this world,
yes,
and we're letting that happen.